Hi and welcome to Coding with Jesse. I'm Jesse Skinner and today I'm going to check out the fish shell, which I've heard of but have never used. So the fish shell is a command line shell like bash. In fact, I've used bash forever and I like bash and I'm not going to bash on bash. But I heard about fish shell from Julia Evans on her blog, and she wrote this. So 3 years ago, she switched to fish shell. 3 years before that, so 6 years of fish shell. And I was reading this blog post, and it sounds really awesome. So I'm gonna take her advice and maybe try it. So I'm on the fish shell website on fishshell.com, and it says, finally, a command line shell for the 90s. I like that. I think what's really cool about it sounds like is the auto suggestions, auto completion. That sounds really useful because I'm always scrolling through my history in Bash trying to figure out stuff I did before. And it's not just your history that it suggests on, but it actually somehow can auto complete based on software. I think it actually parses man pages to figure out how to do that. Works out of the box. That's a good feature. And it's in VGA color. Fantastic. It also has a web-based configuration, which sounds interesting. So I'm going to try the tutorial. I'm running Arch Linux. So for me, I'll be using Pacman to install it, which is so obscure. Oh, there it is. So I'll be doing pacman-s fish. You may or may not be using Arch Linux, so you can find the instructions for installing it on your own system here. But it's available even on Windows Cygwin, Windows Subsystem for Linux, and Mac OS as well. So I'm going to try it out. So I'm going to do sudo pacman-s fish. Yes, I would like to install it. It is 13 megabytes. That sounds good. And let's do the tutorial here. So they actually have a tutorial. I think what I'll do is move this down here and then make this a bit bigger. Hopefully that's easy enough for you to read. Why fish? Fish is a fully equipped command line shell like bash or Z shell, I don't know how to pronounce it, zish, that is smart and user-friendly. Fish supports powerful features like syntax highlighting, auto suggestions, and tab completions that just work with nothing to learn or configure. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I do want to make my command line more productive, more useful, and more fun. I think it would save me some time, like maybe some significant time. And that's always nice. And let's try it out. Once installed, just type fish into your current shell to try it out. Boom. Welcome to Fish, the friendly interactive shell. Type help for instructions on how to use fish. Yeah, I see the same thing. I don't know why it's /h/h, but I don't know. And my CPU is spinning up. I don't know why that is happening either, but that's okay. It's probably the OBS. This prompt that you see above is the fish default prompt. It shows your username, hostname, and working directory. To change this prompt, see how to change your prompt. To switch to fish permanently, see switch your default shell to fish. I'm going to actually look at these, so I guess these are later in the tutorial, but I'll look at them now. There's no prompt variable like PS1. To display your prompt, fish executes a function with the name fish prompt. So make a function, fish prompt, echo, blah, blah, blah. Multiple lines are okay. Colors can be set via set color. So I guess you just run commands like pwd, and then you get, yeah, okay. Well, I won't do that right now, but it's good to know how to do it. The other thing I was interested in is how to switch your default shell to fish. So you need to enter your new shell's executable in two places, etc. shells, and change your default shell with change shell, I guess. Cool. I may do that. We'll see how it goes. All right, so to continue with the tutorial, this tutorial assumes a basic understanding of command line shells and Unix commands, and that you have a working copy of fish. Check, check, check. If you have a strong understanding of other shells and want to know what fish does differently, search for the magic phrase, unlike other shells, which is used to call out important differences. Like search in this document. Oh. That's funny. Indeed. Okay. Running commands. Fish runs commands like other shells. You type a command followed by its arguments. Spaces are separators. Echo. Oh, there you go. I already have some history here. Hopefully nothing embarrassing. This runs the command echo with the arguments hello and world. A space literal with a slash. That seems like shell standard. Fish has excellent help and man pages. Run help to open help in a web browser. Let's try that. Indeed. So this is the full documentation, which I'm not going to go through right now. And man to open it in a man page. Man. Oh, didn't work. Or is it man fish? Probably man fish. Yep. Looks like a man page. For example, help set to open in a web browser or man set to see it in the terminal. Oh. Can I do something like help nano? No. But I guess it's only for like set or other commands that are built into the shell. Syntax highlighting. So if I do... So that's already red. But once I type make dir, it turns blue. That's very cool. So it's always going to be red, L. I like how it, I like the autocomplete. Oh, so you don't use tab for autocomplete? Tab gives you more suggestions. And then you use the arrows. Either up and down in this case, or when it was autocomplete, you use right arrow. Maybe also up. No, right arrow. Okay. Yeah. Fish will underline valid file paths as you type them. Very good. And then as soon as it's invalid, yeah, that's very good. These colors and many more can be changed by running fish config or by modifying variables directly. Okay, fish supports the familiar wildcard star. Good. I'd be very surprised if it didn't. Multiple wildcards and the recursive wildcard star. Does Bash have that? I don't actually know. Let's try it. So this is Bash down here. I'm gonna do */package.json. Yeah, that seems to work, but I don't know, like, what if I do coding with Jesse /*/package.json? Does that work? Okay, it did, but then these should have been results in the other one as well. So if I go into code here, */package.json, I guess I will get many more results. Ooh, way too many. Because now it's going into all the node modules, and oh god, it's going to kill my system. Let's just look for node modules. It's still way too many. Okay, let's go into my coding with Jesse folder. Ooh, no. I gotta get used to right arrow being autocomplete. There's still way too many. Okay. It seems to be working now. I assume by it hanging forever, then it's working good. I guess I could do this example. /var/**log. Yeah. Cool. Pipes and redirection. I assume that is the same as Bash. Standard in, standard out can be redirected by the familiar. Less than, greater than. Yep. And this is a familiar thing as well. Auto suggestions. Oh, so if you don't know what this familiar thing is, this is pipe is redirecting to, which is standard error, to 1. So it's piping standard error into standard out. So that, you know, so programs have like standard in, which is an input stream. Then they have standard out, which is what you normally see, and then standard error, which usually has error messages. If you're putting into a log file, then you can have like a separate error log file from the output log file. But then if you want to, you might just want to have one log file, and that's when you would do this. So that's what it says. To redirect standard out and standard error into one file, you do this. That's something I've done in Bash, so it's the same here. Auto suggestions. Fish suggests commands as you type and shows the suggestion. Yeah, we've already seen that. It knows about paths and options. This is super cool, I think. Dash dash. Oh my god. Tab. 44 more. Oh yeah. What about dash? Oh yeah. That's so cool. And you just scroll through them. That is amazing. I wonder if there's like a way to see more details about what it does. Probably not. Because if I hit enter, it's just going to go away. Pretty awesome. Alt right arrow. To accept the auto suggestion, hit right arrow or Control F. Okay. To accept a single word, Alt right arrow. Okay. So if it's like, if I don't want the star, but I keep this one word, then it's Alt right arrow. Oh, that's not working for me. Maybe Control. It's Control for me. And then it turns blue. Now it's like part. So the gray star is still autocomplete. And now it's all in there. Okay. I'm not going to do that. Interesting. Fish comes with a rich set of tab completions. So press tab and it'll autocomplete the command, argument, or path. Or it'll list them. Hit tab again to cycle through the possibilities. You can also complete commands like git branches. That's pretty neat. So let's go into a git repo, the whole thing. And what would I do? Git checkout tab. Ah, yeah, it shows you all the branches or tags. Pretty good. Pretty neat. Yeah, I like that. I feel like there'll be like a lot of surprises if I just use it. There's probably a lot of, you know, depending what program I'm trying to run, there'd be all sorts of interesting integrations. Like other shells, a $sign performs variable substitution. Okay. And in double quotes, but not single quotes. Unlike other shells, Fish has no declared variable equals value syntax for setting variables. Instead, it has an ordinary command set. Okay. That's fine. Variables are not further split after substitution. So, oh, I guess they are in other languages. This would have created two directories, Mr. and Noodle. So it's like if you had put it in double quotes in Bash, but you don't have to do that in Fish. Other shells use the term arrays rather than lists. You can erase with -E. Okay. Good. So I guess Bash scripts are not going to work in Fish, but if most of my Bash scripts are in a file anyway, and you say what shell you want it to run as at the top of the bash script, it'll say, it'll have a hash bang slash bin slash bash. So I should be able to still run a bash script from in here, and it'll run it as bash. I just won't be able to type out a bash script on the command line and have that work. All right, exports shell variables. Sometimes you need to have a variable available to an external command, such as a setting, or often as a setting. Like get or man read the pager variable to figure out your preferred pager. I didn't know that. The program that lets you scroll text. I didn't know I had a program that lets me scroll text. I guess I don't. Other variables used like this include browser, lang, and path, written in all caps. To give a variable to an external command, it needs to be exported. Unlike other shells, Fish does not have an export command. Instead, a variable is exported via an option to set, -- export, or -x. Okay. So, shell variables, I guess environment variables is what I would call these. Good to know. I wonder if you can run environment variables on the command line. This might come later, but I kind of just want to try it. So I'm going to go temp. I'm going to make node.js, not make dir, nano node.js, and I'm just going to console log and say test is process.env.test. And first I'll do it in bash. So I'll say test abc node.js. Test is undefined. Or I'm already breaking it. Is it not process.env? Did I do something wrong? Oh, capital. Yeah, got a match case. So if I do this, test is ABC, okay. And then can I do the same in here? def node.js. It does work. Okay, so you can still do that kind of thing. Good to know. Lists. The set command above used quotes to ensure that Mr. Noodle was one argument. If it had been 2 arguments, the name would have been a list of length 2. In fact, all variables in Fish are really lists that contain any number of values or none at all. Some variables like pwd, which is the current folder, only have 1 value. By convention, we talk about that variable's value, but we really mean its first and only value. Fair enough. And path really do have multiple values. Yeah, that's right. The variable expands, so there's spaces between it, where in bash, I think it's semicolons. No, colons. Okay. Interesting. I'll get out of bash, back to Fish. Variables whose name ends in path are automatically split on colons to become lists. They are joined using colons when exported to subcommands. This is for compatibility with other tools, which expect path to use colons. Okay. That is a very specific, so specific that it's -- path or -- unpath, which is a new verb I didn't know about, unpath. List cannot contain other lists. There's no recursion. A variable is a list of strings, full stop. Get the length of a list with count. Okay. And you can append or prepend by setting the list to itself with some additional arguments. This kind of reminds me of Lisp for some reason. You can access individual elements with square brackets. Indexing starts at 1 from the beginning and -1 from the end. I'm trying to think of like use cases for this. It seems good. I just don't know yet what to do with it. But I guess it's like a data type, and because it's a scripting language, it'd probably be useful. So you can do ranges, iterate over a list or a slice with a for loop. So what I would do often in Bash is like do an ls dash 1, but then put that in a variable. So I wonder if I can do something like that. First of all, can I do backticks? No. So that's not going to work. Is it with parentheses or something? Yes. So can I do set temp files? Can I do that? And then can I echo temp files like 1? Yes. So I can do for file in temp files, enter, which it lets me do, and that's very nice. Echo file is a file, yo. End. It works. That's really cool. Okay, so there's my use case. I can probably do for file in parenthesis ls-1, echo file is a file, end. No. I needed to hit enter more times. So ls-1, enter, echo file, end. Yeah. Okay, so that's really cool. That's very useful. So if you have a bunch of files and you want to run some commands for each file in there, that's pretty useful. Okay. Lists adjacent to other lists or strings are expanded as Cartesian products. Cartesian products. I forget what that means. But let's just look what it means. So A is 1, 2, 3. 1 is ABC. A1 is 1A, 2A, 3A, 1B, 2B, 3B, 1C, 2C, 3C. So it's like every combination, it's creates a value. So it's like multiplying them. That's interesting. Again, I can't think of a use case, but yeah, I guess if you have like a list of directories and a separate list of files, and every directory should have those files in it, you could do something like that. Command substitutions. Command substitutions use the output of one command as an argument to another. It does not use backticks. I should have just kept reading. I'm going and experimenting here. It uses parentheses. I'm glad I guessed that. And then you capture the output in a variable. See how I spoiled this whole section. They're not expanded within quotes, so you just close the quote and then put a parenthesis with no space in between. Okay. Fish does not split command substitutions on any white space, only new lines. So it's going to break package config. So you have to do string split. Is that, I guess, string, yeah, is built into Fish. And I figured that out by typing help string, and it brought up a page, which means that must be something baked into Fish. Separating commands, semicolon. Like other shells, you can use semicolons. Yep. Exit status. When a command exits, it returns a status code as a natural number. This indicates how the command fared. Zeros, success. Others are failures. Set dash dash query returns the number of variables it queried that weren't set. How many failures there were. Okay. Booga goo goo. Argle bargle. Okay. And then I'm just skimming it because it's not super interesting. But there's also $pipe status list variable for the exit statuses of processes in a pipe. That's good. I don't know if Bash has that. Maybe it does. But if you pipe a bunch of commands together, I don't know if there's a way to get the status of each individual exit status. Or stati if you prefer, or status if you've time traveled from ancient Rome or work as a Latin teacher. Oh, is that a joke about statuses? How to pluralize status? Anyway. Combiners. Fish supports familiar double ampersand and double pipe to combine commands and exclamation mark to negate them. Yep, good. Ooh, I wonder if this is going to mess up all my package JSON scripts. Some of them do assume bash. I'm not sure though. Mostly I use these, so I'm glad to see that these still are supported. Here make is only executed if ./configure succeeds, and so on. The first two are job modifiers and have lower precedence. So the exclamation mark is... Oh, you can actually type the word or and. You do semicolon and. Okay. There's no not in this example. And you can run that as the next line. I wonder if it'd actually be nice to write fish scripts instead of bash scripts. Maybe. Use if, else if, and else to conditionally execute code based on the exit status of a command. If, grep, fish, and shells. That's interesting. I had never thought about using grep as a conditional. To compare strings or numbers or check file properties, use test. Okay. So I guess that's just a command you can write here. Test. I don't know how to do anything. Let's do set greeting hello, and then we'll test greeting equals hello, and echo it worked. Good. That seems to have worked. I'm getting the hang of this. Test-E is if it exists. Okay, so a lot of the, if you're familiar with bash if statements, I guess test is used instead of like square brackets. Oh yeah, so fish is not POSIX compliant, which might be bad, but might be good. Okay. It's also a switch command. Cool. Functions. It's a list of commands which optionally take arguments. Good. Seems predictable. Does not have aliases or special prompt syntax. Oh, I see. So all my bash aliases I'll need to translate into functions. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You just make a function with the alias name and then it runs the command. So it's pretty much, it's just a function with one line basically. List names of all functions. Let's. Whoa. I would like to just sit down and go through each of these and figure out what they all are. Dot. Oh, that's source. Yeah. I don't want to do that. Colon. Nothing. Help colon. No. Anyway, there's probably a lot of interesting functionality in here. I may never know. Oh, there's LL. Cool. That's a popular alias. Oh, you can type functions. Okay. Functions LL. Yeah. In long format. Cool. Great. While loops. Shouldn't do that. For file in. Oh, okay. So that's an even easier way for what I was trying to do earlier. I don't even have to do an ls. I can just do for file in star echo file end. Same thing I was trying to do before. So that's great. I already read about this prompt variable. Might look into that later. Path is... Whoa. That's how to remove something from path. So you set path to, and then you strip something out. So this is some command for taking something out of a list. Alright. Where's bash rc? It executes commands in config.fish, config.fish. You can create it if it does not exist. It's possible to directly create functions and variables in config.fish using the commands shown above. I will do that. You don't need to do this, it's already in there. However, it's more common and efficient to use auto-loading functions and universal variables. What? If you want to organize your configuration, it reads command in .fish files in .config/fish/conf.d. Alright. Auto-loading functions. When it encounters a command, it attempts to auto-load a function for that command by looking for a file with the name of that command in here. Oh, I see. So you don't need to define your functions here, you just make a folder called functions with your functions in it. Seems like a good idea. And do your prompt that way too. Okay. And how would you pronounce this? Funct and func save for ways to create these files automatically. Func save. I like that. I don't know what funct. Edit. Oh, func ed. Edit a function. I get it. Universal variables, even after a reboot with -U. Cool. Even in another shell. Oh, in another fish shell. Yeah, okay. Switching to fish, I think I will. So I will do these things. Let's actually just do them now. I can always change my mind, I guess, later. Oh, so we need to add sudo nano etc shells. What shells do I have? Shell and bash. Ooh, I'm boring. Oh, git shell, z shell. Oh, I already have fish in there somehow. I guess that's what happens when you install fish. So all I need to do is chush user local bin fish. Why is that not? I don't think it's there because it's not like doing the thing where it's underlined. I think it was there. I don't know why they say user local bin and for me it's user bin. That might just be Arch Linux kind of out like thing. I don't know. I don't know why. But let's do it. Ooh, password. Alright. I'm a fish user now. Could always change it another day, but I think I like it. Ready for more? Not right now. But I really like fish. I think it's really cool. I'm going to try it out. I think I will keep it. I recommend you try it as well, even if you're on Mac. I think it has some really neat solutions there. Alright. Thanks for watching.